Hello and welcome back to King of Many Nations. This video is an addendum video to the pre-conversion report you may have already seen. So, I've looked at the comments I got on that video and I've done some changes. I've actually done quite a few significant changes that I am very excited in sharing with you. So, people complained about the aesthetics, so I had to do something about that, hadn't I? What I did here was I neatened out the border between Portugal and Aquitaine and Aragon, as you can see. Aragon lost out on one territory to Aquitaine, but Aquitaine had a core on it, so it made sense. Portugal got some territory from Aquitaine. It's purely aesthetical. Let's say they struck a deal or something. It's not that unlikely. I have been modifying the cores within Europe here, as you can see. Like Franconia here has some cores on the Netherlands and stuff. I don't remember if they have that when I showed you the world in the last video, but I think I did that recently, so I'm showing you it again. Anyway, I have neatened out the borders in certain areas of the world, for example against Mali and the British Gold Coast here, because the Victoria 2 converter, you can use it to see a representation of the nations. Right now it doesn't convert population or anything that's actually very important, some stuff you don't want to do manually. So what I could do was prepare the borders. So here I simply gave Ouagadougou here to Mali. The same thing happened here in Abyssinia and Arabia, where I gave some stuff to Arabia, and Arabia was in a winning war against Abyssinia anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal. I had some people complain about the eyesore that was the Arabian Caliphate up here in eastern Russia. So what I did was I decided upon giving these colonies here independence from Arabia. They are still very closely tied to Arabia, but they are independent nonetheless. Of course, they will not be named Sharia. I just use this as a placeholder country. If you have a suggestion for a good name for this nation in Victoria 2, please send a comment to me, or send a comment on this video. So Sharia here is a western nation, just like Mordva. It's a Sunni sultanate, and they don't have that much territory, but they are kind of connected here. It's an interesting format for a country, having two separate parts in a very cold part of the world. But they will probably persevere, and hopefully they will not push into Japan immediately, as one of my subscribers expressed concern about. Let's hope. I need to know the border here. Shun got some stuff from Arabia. I don't remember if I did that before, but I'm just telling you again for posterity. So, one of my subscribers suggested that during this period of non-interactivity between this year and the year of Victoria, between 1821 and 1835, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, between that period, the Latin Revolution, or as they are known in this world, because they happened, they are the Celtic Revolution, or more specifically, the Welsh Revolutions. So, let me show you America. Here we have the Americas in all their glory. So, I showed you Quebec before. Well, yeah, let's start with North America. Quebec, they absorbed this little, like, French Louisiana thing that was here. They are, of course, not Celtic, but they are cosmopolitan, and they have all of the cosmopolitan nations inside of them right now. They also got New France, and, well, that's what they got, actually. They got New France, and they got French Louisiana, or whatever it was called, I don't remember. So this nation is now much more powerful, incredibly so, actually. It's not super powerful. I mean, Haiti still has most of the good land, but well, they can be a contender, let's say. They are not as insignificant as they were before. Louisiana is the same, because it didn't make sense to do anything with them. And I find them to be interesting, situated like that. Let's hope they survive. You remember me giving this stuff to Aquitaine? Well, this is all Aquitaine has left except for the Panama Canal, which they control. Or well, it's not a canal yet, but they have the possibility of making it into a canal. They had a lot of colonial nations here. So, I gave them independence, because otherwise it wouldn't be interesting. It's not going to be called Mexico, for obvious reasons, because Mexico is here. This is going to be called something else, perhaps California. If you have suggestions, you can leave them in the comments. But I'm pretty sure I'll make them into the Republic of California. Or well, yeah, they are actually a republic, so that makes sense. I think they are the only republics. When you release a colonial nation, they randomly choose a government. And Mexico, I believe, was the only one that chose a republic. So that's very interesting. All the Welsh or Celtic revolter states, or simulated revolter states, all chose monarchies. So they all convert over to Prussian constitutionalisms in Victoria 2. Very interesting. The Aztecs got some land. They annexed a French, I think, a French and Portuguese minor colonial nation here, and traded some provinces with the United Provinces of Central America here. So, these are the revolter nations. They are massive, sure, but they are also able to contend in this world of immense, powerful nations. Castile has moved here, as you already knew, and absorbed their stuff. So we have Castile in the north, we have Peru in the north and northeast and the east. Chile dominates the south. Brazil and Portuguese Brazil will probably fight for the title of True Brazil. I haven't decided upon anything here. I was going to give one of them course on the other, but I'm not sure if it makes sense. Perhaps they should just stay as two separate countries. This being Brazil proper, and this being another variant of it. I don't know what exactly. If you have a suggestion for a name here for this colonial nation, that would be great. I don't even have a clue actually what they could be. So that could help. They are Welsh, by the way, in case you were wondering. In case you were wondering, most of the colonials are Welsh. Those who aren't French are Welsh. Oh yes, by the way, there were a lot of one province Native Americans here, and Mexico, or whatever they are going to be called, decided upon annexing all of them outright. So it's not a very friendly nation, this. They don't respect minor states. In South Africa, I decided upon creating somewhat of a, well, it's not a super state because their provinces are kind of poor, but I merged a lot of states here into one. South Africa was a rather rich country, having lots of gold and stuff from this part. Yes, there's gold and ivory and all kinds of stuff. So they had a lot of money in the bank, and with that money they bought land off Great Britain. And in that deal they got the Protectorate of Congo, which they promptly annexed. So here they have Congolese cores. The English cores are removed, but it's still English in culture. Because it was a legitimate sale, Britain cannot claim them back. So I'm hoping that this nation will get great power status and start colonizing Africa before Arabia takes everything. So that's what I've done to the colonial nations, and I hope you agree that this will create a much more interesting scenario in Victoria 2, with not only Europe being full of absolutely awesome nations. So, I mentioned earlier that the Victoria 2 converter is well, it's outputting something. It's not doing population, but it is doing national values and it's doing governments. So I could take a little look and see which nations ended up as what. And I had a discussion with one of my subscribers about Arabia and how they are the Arabian Caliphate. Well, they may have a caliph, but they have reformed to such a degree that they are actually not an empire anymore. They are a constitutional monarchy. And as you can read, the monarch has to abide to a certain constitution. So, they are, well, not a caliphate in name anymore. They're going to convert over to Arabia. But here is the interesting part. They are liberal and they have the national value of, well, I don't remember. I think it's, let's see. One of them, it's the one that the United States has in vanilla, the one that gives extra immigration. I think it's equality. It might be the other one. It's not order. I've forgotten the name of the third one. I think it's liberty, maybe? Might be liberty. Anyway, so Arabia here is crazy. They are number one in great power, and they are very liberal and welcoming, and they are probably going to receive a lot of immigration. They are not in the New World though, so they will suffer in that regard, but still, it's a very interesting situation because I did not expect that. Like, the worst nation to live in the world is probably going to be Byzantium, simply because they are so incredibly autocratic. But the converter does not convert stuff like technology or social policies yet, which misrepresents a lot of countries because, well, you know, you don't see the whole picture. So that's the major things I've done. I've not done anything to the colonies here in Oceania or Oceania. I don't remember how to pronounce that properly. Anyway, it's only Sharia here who got their freedom. I did do some things here, I believe. I gave some more cores to Vesha Janagar, I think. Anyway, I've actually been quite meticulous when I've done this. But still, if you have more feedback, more suggestions, or comments on something I've missed or messed up even, from what you can see, then please leave a comment so I can correct myself. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'm looking forward to playing this in Victoria too. I'll see you soon.